What is going on, everybody? Critic
What's your
and
name?
the Common Man. Oh, who, me?
Yeah, what's your name?
I'm the Common Man.
Oh, okay.
So that must make you the Critic.
I guess that's my name. Yeah, I guess.
Cool. You want to do a podcast?
Sure.
All right. Then it's settled. Critic and the Common Man, ladies and gentlemen. You just watched the formation of it. We are here today with a review of Your Name.
That's our origin story.
That's our origin story right there. Just unfolded in front of your very eyes, or inside of your very ears if you're just listening on Spotify or elsewhere.
It's a little more intimate that way. You're welcome.
Oh, right in your ear. Oh, my God. Although, to be fair, if you're watching us on YouTube, not only are we in your ear, but we're also in your eyes. Ooh, that's messy. That's a little messy. You know what I mean? In
right
your
in the
your
retina.
eyes and in your ears. That's rude. Anyway, Your Name today. Chris, you recommended this one. 2016 anime film, I believe.
Is it 2016? Holy shit. I thought it was new.
I'm pretty sure it's 2016. At least it was released at like original Japanese version 2016. Yes, Your Name 2016. Pretty amazing story. I got to be honest with you. And I didn't have high expectations because I don't watch a ton of anime. I'm pretty transparent about that. Don't dislike it. I just don't watch a lot of it. But this felt different. This felt like it could have been a rom-com with live
done.
action thing.
The animation
Very
was
well
just
done.
so fluid.
Dude, visually, I don't think I've ever seen anything better.
Yeah. It's
Honestly,
amazing.
leave a comment down below, guys, and let us know, has there been a better visual anime done than Your Name? Because I got to be honest, I haven't seen it. If there is,
I think people might argue Akira, which is an old anime, but it
better be pretty damn good, dude.
Or
This
Paprika.
was
Paprika
impressive.
would be another good one. But no, honestly, this is one of the most stunning, just visually stunning movies in general that I've ever seen. Not even just like as an animated film. This is just a very well done movie.
Here's a question for you. This one felt like, to me, it actually really could have been live action. And I'll even go one step further and say, I think this, if they do adapt this for a live action version, I think the live action version could be even better than this anime.
I had that same thought when I was watching this.
Yeah.
I was thinking about what it would be as a live action. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think
I could see it.
I don't know about
I could really see this being big.
I think people would argue that, maybe the original is better. It depends. But I think live action this movie could easily blow people away. I mean, it already does.
I
That's
think
the
so,
thing.
too. The writing is there, and that's the key. The writing is there, so the underlying story is
Such a unique story too, like just body switching, but you're not sure why, and then you got to figure it out with it. Like it's an interesting story, and right away, within the first 5 minutes, you're already asking questions like what the hell is going on?
Right, what is happening here?
Keeps you
Why is this
intrigued
chick
and
freaking out when she wakes up and like, groping herself?
yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad you recommended this one, man, because it was powerful and it was really, really intense. It was very unpredictable. I did not really see what was coming. And it wasn't too over the top. So I'm going to kind of tote a line here that I know is maybe a little inappropriate, but sometimes I feel like when we watch these anime movies, the emotion and things, it's just maybe a cultural difference, but they can feel it can be too much. It's like a little over the top sometimes with some of the reactions and the voices and things. Didn't get that from this. Now, I will say, I'm assuming you did too. Did you watch like the original Japanese version with the English subtitle?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Me too. Yeah. So on Amazon, when I went to rent this, there's two options.
I didn't even realize there
like
was an English version.
Yep, totally. There's an English dubbed version on there, and then there's the original Japanese with the English CC. And of course, I was like, I've learned my lesson by now. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this in the original Japanese voicing, and then I'm gonna just read the subtitles. And I'm glad I did because I felt it really portrayed the emotions that they chose when they were creating this movie. Man, there's a lot to like about this one. The story was very creative. The fact that these two had this bond created by, I guess, this meteor that somehow kind of linked them.
It's bizarre for sure. Like I feel like it requires a couple watches before you really understand what's happening. But I guess the meteor tied them together through time somehow. I thought it was gonna do. Did you ever watch The Lake House with Keanu Reeves?
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
I don't think the movie got very good reviews. I don't remember. But the point is, in that movie, he is writing letters to somebody in this lake house that he's staying in, and he doesn't realize it until like a little bit later that they're talking to each other from different years. So they're writing letters to each other, and when one leaves it in the mailbox, it appears in the mailbox in the other person. And then they realize that, like, let's meet up, and then they realize they're in the same spot, and then they realize, like, oh shit, we're not in the same time. And then I think they end up meeting at the end. It's weird. It's a weird concept.
The moment, that is a cool concept. The moment that they met, and it was twilight, and they were kind of seeing each other, and they're like, let's write our names on each other's hands so we don't forget. And then he writes his, so you think, and then she writes like the first letter, and then the pen falls. Yeah. Dude, and then she's like forgetting his name, and she's like, Tucky, his name is Tucky. And then she like looks at her hand, and she's like, I don't remember his name, and her hand just says, I love you. I was like, oh my, I was like, dude, that is so heavy, man.
Yeah.
That is so heavy. So I'm a little bit confused. So they're at a different timeline. They're 3 years apart. Okay. He's from the future, or no, she's from...
Yeah, she's older.
She's from the future because it had already happened in her timeline. Sure. She's from the future.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, yeah, right, because she went back to meet him and he didn't know her yet.
But it's like it happened for her, but we're watching it from his perspective, so it's weird because it's his timeline, but her event. So I don't know. It's bizarre. So, yeah, it takes a moment. So they're both graduating high school, but she has already done it 3 years before. In his perspective.
So they stop switching. Something happens and they don't switch anymore. Like they go through that twilight point and they don't switch anymore. But then he goes to that ancient site, that like ritual site where she left the sake, the kamizakis or whatever it was. And because he drank that, he gets to switch with her again. Is that what happened?
Because the sake was made from her saliva.
Right.
And so there's a part of her that he drank, and so I think it reconnected them.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I got from it, because from what they were saying is that it's an ancient ceremony, and in order to cross over into the spirit world, the grandmother, the aunt, I can't remember.
Yes. Yeah.
She was saying that you have to leave something precious behind. And so he drank the sake, and then it connected them. I think. I don't know. I'm sure there's somebody out there who has a better response. I'm going to watch this movie again, and I'm going to make a post about this because this movie blew me away. So I will put that in a blog post, and yeah.
Yeah, this one is pretty unbelievable. I will agree with you there. Okay, so then he switches there and he can warn. I will say, man, I wasn't expecting it to happen, but when she tries to save everybody in that town and then that meteor still strikes...
Yeah.
Pretty emotional. Things got pretty emotional on my couch, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
It was crazy.
That was heavy.
And like they're trying to get everybody out, and nobody's fucking moving. And like that's probably what would happen realistically. People would just like ignore that. They'd be like, "Okay, how do you know that?"
Guys, listen. If someone fairly innocent ever runs around and it's like there's something happening, you just need to run a little bit to this high school. Just go to the high school.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you waste an hour of your life. Just go to the high school. If somebody ever runs in and they're like, I'm from the future and so we're all going to die, you got to go here. Just go.
In that voice.
Unless they're making, in that voice. Future. Unless they're making you do something. Future. Unless they're making you do something that you just absolutely are not willing to do, just roll with it. And again, worst case scenario, you just waste a little bit of time. Best case scenario, you just avoided a meteor strike. So there's that. Also, that was fucked up. That meteor was supposed to be nice and link everybody together, and then it kills that village. That's not very nice.
But I think at the end of the movie, right, like nobody died because of them.
Nobody died in the alternate reality, but we do know from Endgame that in the timeline of the original future where people got killed by that meteor, those people still died. We're seeing a parallel universe version of those people that survived.
If you believe the multiverse theory, it's whatever.
Yeah, some people aren't as woke as us.
Some people still think the Earth is round. Weirdos.
Unbelievable. That's why the spaceships bounce right off the barrier and come back down.
The rich white person laugh. You have to cover your mouth.
Oh, the peons and their sailboats that don't glide across the water from their $1 million hydrofoils. Yes, so visually, this was better than pretty much anything I'd ever seen. Dude, the scene where the meteor strikes and it turns into like the atom, which turns into the cells that start dividing, and it creates like this dyad.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. And even the transitory scenes, I just threw that word in there. I have no idea. Like the cut scenes in between, like where the door, like the sliding door, it was like the same scene.
Yes,
like
I noticed that, and I made a note in my head. There's totally a reference to like, there's a lot of themes in this. There's a lot of themes in this movie, and one of them is I think it's dealing with like the inner child. I don't know. I'm gonna totally make a blog post about this because I was like what's the word I'm looking for? I was actually blown away. There are very few movies that do that for me, and I was actually blown away by this.
This was amazing. Also, I liked how it felt, for something so far-fetched, it felt real in the way they handled that. And by that, I just mean they did the things that if you were in the movie, you would actually do. Like, they texted each other, and eventually they decided to actually go and meet each other. Like, you know, sometimes like that Lake House movie you were talking about, like, it would have been stupid to me if they just, like, wrote notes to each other to find the whole time. Like, they have cell phones. They can text. They leave each other messages. They set each other up on dates. They, you know, they have to work because someone spends. I mean, it just felt like, okay, there's a realism to this where the people are actually doing what I feel like they would do if this were really, really happening. And I appreciated that. And then they finally actually go to meet, and of course that's when, you know, they find out they're on different timelines and whatnot.
I love that the two friends end up actually getting together in like when he sees them, and like they're like, you know, saying like, oh, we don't like each other the entire time, and then 3 years later they're together. It's adorable.
Yeah, it's a good story. And living in Tokyo.
Yeah.
So
Which
I guess
did you notice the station that they were at? That's the same station as in Alice in Borderland.
Alice in Borderland, that Shibuyan station or whatever it's called. Yeah, absolutely. Like the busiest station, like busiest intersection in the world.
Yeah,
it's insane. This movie did almost everything right, man. I mean, it's very, very hard to pick out things about this that you don't like.
It was funny. It was emotional.
It was funny.
You know, like when she's emotional. Like at the end and she's like grabbing, or I guess it was she grabbing her own boobs. It was he. Yeah. And she just crying.
Yeah. He's like, I'm her. Yeah. The little sister walks in and she's like, all right, you finally lost it.
Yeah. It's just, I laughed at that. Yeah.
So this one was received about exactly as well as you would assume it was. Probably not too far-fetched, but a 98% critic score. Yeah. That is up there, man. That is up there. 94% audience score, so everybody loved this one. Critic and common man alike, everybody really liked this one.
Yeah.
Where do you come in on this, given your rating on Your Name?
Pretty strong, honestly. I've seen a lot of movies. I've seen a lot of animated movies. It takes a lot for me to say, and to give a score this high. There's a lot of things that I pick out. Like even some of my favorite movies don't get scores as high as what I'm going to give this one. I think this one was just a masterpiece, honestly, as far as the art of, and it's expected when a movie like this with the themes and everything in the story, you can tell so much love was put into this work, and it shines through the entire film. I'm coming in at 9.5. I think. Nice. I think this movie, and I only say 9.5 because there's always room for improvement.
Right.
It's really hard for me to say that it's a 10 out of 10 because there's a lot of movies that I have to compare it to. So 9.5 just to be safe, because it's not the Lord of the Rings. But I don't know. I was blown away. I feel weird that it's such a short review for this one because there's nothing I can think of other than I want to watch it again. It's deep, it's emotionally impactful, It's funny, beautiful and stunning artwork, and just the story itself is just so compelling. I don't know, it was great. 9.5.
Yeah, I couldn't say it better myself. I think you hit all the points there. I'm going to come in at a 9 out of 10. This was the first animated movie I've seen that didn't have any sort of action genre in there at all. You know, this was truly a romance kind of thrill or you know, suspense type movie. It was very exciting. It was very interesting. I would not be surprised at all to hear in news somewhere in one of our current events that this is getting picked up. That this is getting picked up for some sort of live action adaptation.
And I think people will flip out.
I think it'd be great. It was a great story. Let me see. I'm just trying to think if I have anything else here that I wanted to say. I mean, do you have anything else for this one, Chris? I know this seems like one that really, if you really dive into, it could take some real analysis to see.
Absolutely, and I mean, I'm just trying to review this so people know what to think about it, or just to give some sort of feedback on it. But I'm not analyzing this movie at all right now, but I will. I'm going to.
Right.
That's the next post. Right. I'm telling you. I'm saying it right now. Breathing life into the universe. I'm gonna make a post about this one because I want to. I sincerely want to.
There's a lot in this to take away from this, I should say, and just the cultural references, the styling of everything, the conversations that people have. I just feel like it was written and directed by somebody who was a real person. It felt so down to earth. All the conversation felt natural. The story progression felt natural. It just, I was blown away. I'm glad you recommended this one to me, man. It was a rare movie that I ended up liking a lot more than I thought I would, and I'm glad that we watched it for sure. So that's it, guys. 9.5 and a 9 here. High scores for this movie. Very hard to find things to not like about this one. Chris, you got anything else before we jump into our current event today?
No, not for this one. No. Go watch it.
Speaking of, go watch it indeed. Speaking of live action, and this is kind of weird because it already sort of was live action. So they're talking about Hamilton the musical. They're talking about now making like a live action movie about this. So not a Broadway show. They're going to adapt it for just a full length feature film. But a musical still. I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think so. I think they're just going to do
an Alexander Hamilton flick.
An Alexander Hamilton movie, but with the cultural changes and things. Maybe still a musical. They didn't reference whether it's going to be a musical or not, but they're going to try to make like this sort of cultural reference movie. And I like that. Because if anybody on here actually watched our Hamilton review, I think we reviewed that one with Moulin Rouge and The Greatest Showman. It was back when we were doing like longer podcast episodes, so we did multiple at a time. Chris and I were not blown away with Hamilton. You and I...
But we did say one of the reasons was because we were watching a musical on stage as a movie.
Yes, we did. Absolutely. This is actually something that I feel like could make a better movie than musical. But we just love movies, man. That's why we did this. We love movies, and maybe it's a little fair. It's like Les Mis. We could... You're like, fuck this. I'm out after this. It's like Les Mis. The movie for it is awesome. I don't know that I would love to sit through the musical of it. And I like musicals. I was an actor as a kid. I'm sure I would enjoy it, but I don't know that I would like it better than the movie. It's just something that they're able to do in cinema that oftentimes is a little hard to pull off.
Yeah.
But we had our own qualms with Hamilton, man. We go watch the Hamilton review. You can find it on our channel if you guys really liked Hamilton, want to hear what we have to say about that one. We had our own issues with that one that I don't think would be present in a movie.
Yeah.
The nonstop singing break, the no dialogue breaks, the nonstop singing, things that we just thought could have been a little better. I think maybe won't be an issue if they release it as a movie, but that's to be seen. That's to be determined depending on how much singing and music is actually in it. Yeah. All right, man. Well, that's it. A killer movie today, animated film that really blew both of us away, as you can tell by our scores here. And then our little current event, just letting you guys know there will be a Hamilton movie. It's in the works right now. Pew, pew, pew. Chris, send the people out here with some words of encouragement or some pleasant thoughts to get them through their week. Let them know. Give them something.
Well, if you were ever worried about it, now you don't have to, because did you know that sea slugs, when you cut off their head, can grow a new body? So good. That's good. Good for them.
Good for them. I feel like that could lift some people up this week. You know what I mean? If you've ever accidentally stepped on a slug or something.
If that was you, you're welcome.
You're welcome. Anyone who's accidentally cut the head off a slug, don't worry about it. It's going to grow back.
A sea slug.
All right, everybody.
If you cut the head off a regular slug, you're a monster.
You're a monster. Critic in the Comment Man, your name, big review today, big movie, big. Everything's big. Hey, it's big.
Hey,
what a big review here.
Big Tony.
Come on down with the big Zamboni. It's big. All right, we're out of here, everybody. Critic in the Comment Man. See you next week. Peace.